right, everybody. Welcome to the December portion of the makeup meeting. This is part one. Part two will be January. Back to the basics safety meeting. We have in today's agenda danger zone, stop arm, student management, parent management, base, buses, and some feedback stuff. We're also not going to have a test. We are going to do some feedback, and we're going to go back to some keywords. So our first keyword is going to be team. Team is your first keyword. All right. Here's December. Why don't school buses have seatbelts? Good question, right? Most of all of our little buses and vans have seatbelts, but they're designed a little bit differently than the big buses. So school buses are larger and heavier, which means that the mass and weight of the school bus is designed to take the bulk of the crash force. They are also far less likely to roll over. School buses must be federally regulated to provide for compartmentalization, which means that the interior of a large school bus must provide occupant protection so that the children are protected without the need to buckle up, which is done through the strong, closely spaced seats, the energy absorbing foam seat backs, the height of the seat. So, and visualize how eggs are in a carton. If you drop them, generally they'll be protected, right? That's the same principle. The chassis of the bus is designed to separate from the body of the bus and in a crash slow down and spread the forces over the entire body of the bus. A lot of us have heard of that head-on crash that we had with one of our buses most recently, and the body of that bus moved 4+ inches forward. If this had been a head-on with a car-on-car type scenario, it would have been much worse. So that movement of the body of the bus minimized the severity of the injuries in that bus significantly. All right, here we go with the second keyword is going to be safety. Safety is our second keyword. Danger zone. More children are killed outside of the school bus than they are as bus occupants. Motorists must anticipate children in a school bus danger zone. Do they know what this is? Doubtful, right? Half of them don't realize where they're at. The area around a school bus is where most injuries and deaths occur. So we need to teach our kids about that, as well as we need to be very aware of our danger zones. Bus driver duties. A driver of a school bus shall activate the pre-warning flasher amber signals 8 ways of a school bus before stopping to load or unload school children. The driver shall activate and continuously operate the amber signals for a distance of at least 100 feet before stopping in a speed zone of 30 miles an hour or less. Also, we got to be mindful of how we position our bus. Don't leave the lane. Don't pull over to the shoulder. You're doing an 8-way stop. You stop in your lane of traffic. Don't cock the bus one direction or the other in that lane of traffic. Positioning, if something bad were to happen, is definitely evaluated by the state patrol. And if you're violating some of these procedures, a percentage of that fault could be put your way. Okay? So at least 300 feet before stopping in a speed zone of more than 35 miles an hour. So if you're going 35 or more, 300 feet, right? On stopping for this purpose, the driver shall extend the stop arm signal arm system to activate the flashing red signals. The driver shall not retract the stop sign arm system or extinguish the flashing red signals until loading or unloading is completed. So students are seated, or the children who must cross the roadway are safely across. So from curb to curb, right? All right. Our next keyword is spring break. Spring break. Notes from dispatch. All right. So making sure to double check your time clock. You have until Tuesday p.m. to inform dispatch of any missing or incorrect punches to avoid delay in paying out your missing time. If it's after that point, it'll be put onto your next paycheck. We just have a time constraint to get it all generated and put into payroll. After that point, it's basically done and ready to go most weeks. Buses and decorations. I'm seeing a lot of route signs in multiple windows. The rule and law says the second bottom window. So if you've got 10, 20, I mean, I'm exaggerating on that number, route signs in your window, we need to condense it, or you need to actually change your route signs in one of those envelopes that are clear plastic and we can pull in and out. Bus decorations in the windows, not allowed either. Seeing some decorations in every single window of the bus, just can't have it. We are getting. I love the decorations. Don't get me wrong. I think it's wonderful. Just can't have it in the windows. The clutter on the dashes, can't have that. That's in a line of sight. And basically that's from the bottom of your windshield or top of your dash all the way up. Just can't have that clutter in the window. Lost and found, some of our standby drivers are saying, oh my Lanta, there's a pile of lost and found in there. Bring that in, okay? Lot driving, we're getting buses cutting through center lines. We're getting the whole para thing still dropping off at the break room, picking up at the break room, dispatch office. You know, pull off to that south barn and pick up the para there. We can't be blocking that aisle. It's a huge choke point there. I can't stress that enough. And pick them up there. If that spot by the south barn is taken, pull out and come back around by the shop area and have them come out that way. Driving the wrong way in the parking lots. I know the arrows are snow covered, but we still got to be mindful. It's a one-way lot driving. 5 miles an hour, just like schools. And lot driving with schools is the same thing, 5 miles an hour. We'll get more into some school stuff here and procedures at schools. Radio. We're getting a lot of unnecessary communication on the radio. We need to be mindful that Mounds View School District is monitoring us. If you got an issue with another driver, please come in, report it. Safety things like a tail light out, yeah, that's great. You know, keep the stories down on the radio as well. You need to contact dispatch for a reason. Tell them what the reason is, but don't go overboard on what the reason is. They just need the information that you have, short and sweet. Winter driving. Oh, my Lanta. We need to be mindful of our space cushions, Smith systems, just being generally courteous out there. It's real important to have that space cushion to get to and from where we need to go as safely as possible. Hopefully, uh, the sun is coming higher up in the sky. The days are getting longer. Maybe we can get into spring faster. Stop arm laws. Minnesota law says that a driver must stop 20 feet from a school bus with its red lights flashing. How many civilian non-school bus drivers really know this? Some are very afraid. Some just are texting and driving. We all see this. So the bus driver shall not allow the vehicle to move our bus until the school bus stop signal arm is retracted and the red lights are no longer flashing. I see some buses moving 5-10 feet and their reds are still going. Gotta disarm that before we actually move. Passing on the right, no person may pass or attempt to pass a school bus in a motor vehicle on the right hand passenger door side of the bus when the school bus is displaying a pre-warning flashing amber signals as required. We all know this too. Most dangerous, right? That danger zone. Stop arm laws. I'm not going to read this word for word. You guys can take a second here to read it while I talk. The most important thing here is to know that we have a certain amount of time to report it, which is going to be the 4 hours. Do your best to get whatever information out there that you can to report it. If you can't get a license plate, still write it up. A lot of the stuff that I send in for stop arm violations gets taken care of, as well as getting patrols to follow our buses. Some of us have said, "Oh, the cops following me." Yeah, it's generated by stop arm violation write-ups. So, stop arm laws. Divided highway again, like Mounds View Boulevard. That's four-way student stops. If it's separated by grass, concrete J barriers, parkway with trees, four ways. If you have any questions, feel free to come back and see me. Does it happen? I'm sure. Again, when you have a stop arm violation, we have that 4 hours. So get it in. The faster we get it in, the potential of having that driver penalized is greater than past that 4 hours. Nothing's going to happen. So turn that in right away. I will get that submitted to the proper people so we can get people educated with fines and penalties and possibly more severe. What is a stop arm violation? That, in my opinion, is going to be you doing everything properly and giving a proper amount of time for another vehicle to react to you. So if you just throw it out and a car is traveling along and cannot safely stop and runs your stop arm, that's not a violation. You are just as responsible as that other driver to the procedures. That's why we have the 100 and 300 foot rule. Who can report a stop arm violation? The general public certainly can if they see one. They can call it in. Do they really know the proper procedures? I'm sure they're just going to probably call 911. Um, but it's ultimately the driver. And that's why you got to fill that form out, and potentially you're going to get a call back from either the state patrol or the city that it happened in, police officer. So you report it to me, I report it to them. Educating your students, that's a big one. Uh, that makes that danger zone less. The more you educate with victory to pass when it's safe and you know that traffic stopped. When I'm substituting on a route, I don't know these kids. Most of the time they do it right, but at the same time, I'm reminding them, look at me to cross. If you're crossing, look at me. I'll give you the V for victory. Okay? So, education to your students. Student management, parent management, teacher, and school staff. Um, Anytime that you're dealing with student management, it starts from day one. We have a lot of new drivers here, so your day one is day one of the route. Letting them know what your expectations is a great thing, but be friendly about it when you're dealing with students. Sometimes we got to get that mom and dad voice going a little, but we can do that in a tone and manner that is also friendly. Parent management, obviously we're not going to take tone with them. Uh, we have dispatch has cards that you can pass out if they have a question that you don't feel comfortable asking or answering. Pass it out. Let them call dispatch and let them talk to that teacher and school staff. Uh, this is mainly probably for sped routes, the communication of Johnny is having a bad ride this morning. They may give you some hints and clues to being able to curve that a little. So communicating with school staff is just as important as communicating with your students and parents. Why is student management so important? Obviously, that's why I threw up some pictures here of a bus and kids. Loading and unloading students is probably where we feel the most stress as a driver. So, educating them, communicating with them, and managing it is very important. If you have any questions or concerns, again, come to me. I may not have the answer at that moment, but I'll seek out the answer for you. Words and tones with the parents, so critical. Let's do some feedback from our last safety meeting. Uh, our last safety meeting went really well, I think, uh, with what I got for feedback. Here's one. I'm just going to randomly go through these. I'm going to try to get through all of them here. So the first one, the procedures talked about were articulated well. Well, thank you. Regarding doing child checks, it would be good to mention that we should do, in the case of sleeping child found during a child check. Hey, that's a good point. So you find a student on your bus at the end of the route and Johnny's sleeping. What should you do? Well, wake Johnny up first. Find out where Johnny needs to go. Call it into base. Let base know. Johnny's stop may be a block from his house. So dispatch will make a phone call and let the parent know that, hey, we're bringing Johnny back to the house. You might not have that address. Dispatch will communicate that to you. That's what we should do. I find it strange that one of our drivers didn't know that sweetheart stops are illegal. Wow, okay. Yeah, sweetheart stops are illegal. They look at uh, our routing, people look at what the laws and regulations are for student stops and plan our routes accordingly to that. So, stopping at a different location because Johnny's house is closer to the corner or further from the corner may not fit the criteria. Not only that, if you have a standby driver and they're not at the right location, they're going to think, hey, this isn't my stop. And if something bad were to happen there, you could partially be at fault for this and held liable. We don't want to see that. I believe all bus drivers should be first aid and CPR certified. Me too. Uh, that's a good question. If you want to get CPR certified, I suggest doing it. That's definitely a good thing to have in your arsenal of qualifications. Excuse me. Special guests didn't state their name. So a lot of people that are new here didn't know who the special guest was. It was Paulette, little blast from the past. Super, super awesome person. Did a lot around here. It's actually taking multiple people to cover what she did. As a new driver, it would be nice to have an easy way to ask questions. An email would be helpful for questions that do not need an immediate response to. Hey, my email is Mike S, Mikes, at North Star Bus Lines, plural on lines.com. If you want to email me, feel free. Uh, I definitely will try to answer your emails in a timely fashion. Uh, More basics. Overall sped routes and van routes definitely are on my radar. Uh, in our lot, schools, roads, Smith Systems. Hey, I love Smith Systems. Um, on the highway, route signs, decorations. Hey, decorations again from all. Okay, uh, so let's take a minute. Sped drivers with student management. Definitely, paras and drivers need to work as a team. Schools, that's a good one. I see a lot of uh, people needing just a smidge more patience out there, especially unloading at school property. It's more controlled environment uh, at dismissal time. Even though there are a few schools where it's definitely frustrating that schools holding up buses, we just gotta have patience. We're on the clock. We're getting paid. 5 miles an hour on school property, signaling your intent. If you're held up for a reason, put on your four ways to let other drivers coming in behind you know that they need to have that space cushion to pull out. Uh, that's definitely, and when you're ready to pull out, signal your intent and that 5 minute rule. Increase your following distances and use your Smith systems. If you don't have or know what the Smith systems are, the 5 keys, come see me. I will give you the 5 keys and I will help you out on that. Have your related to, okay, good. Thank you very much for saying it was a good safety meeting. We are definitely trying to stay topical with current events. Ooh, look at this one. This one's a big one. Need better communication to the drivers and quicker about route changes. We need to get those ASAP. Don't disagree with that. If they make a change, it seems like it's going to be held up. Mask change policy on February 28th. Well, uh, I'm not 100% sure, but last night, Friday, they were saying some stuff on the news that was kind of confusing to me. But the CDC this coming week here, this week that this safety meeting's coming out, the CDC is actually doing some changes to that nationwide. There's rumors that it could potentially affect the school buses. Remind drivers to pull all the way up at the drop off at schools and not to cut buses off that are blocked in at schools. That's frustrating. Definitely. Come on, guys. Patience at the schools, please. I know it's kind of stressful and the recovery time in between routes. They got us pinched in really tight. I get it. Um, Especially when you're looking for your morning coffee, right? Or a potty break. The in person safety meetings seem to be more effective. Don't disagree with that than the YouTube. I like person to person interactions. These are just makeup on the YouTube. We should be going back to regularly scheduled programs as of March. I like both of them, to be honest with you. They both have their pros and cons. Some parents have habit of buses to pick up their kids instead of. Oh wow! Hey, if you are this person, come see me. Um, with the parents picking up, having okay. If you're having problems at student pickups or drop offs with parents, please come see me. You spend the safety meeting text on Tuesday. It requires paperwork Friday. I think we all need to have more time to watch the video and do this worksheet. A couple days won't be enough for most people. Don't disagree, Lynn. Having lead time on this is very critical. I do apologize. Trying to get caught up with a lot of stuff here, including safety meetings. Do your best. That's what I ask. That's all I can ask for. Where are those new two-way radios? Good question. As far as I know, North Star bus lines are running live with that new two-way radio. I think Kevin also has the new system in his truck. Not 100% sure on all that. I do believe that they are working hard on getting this implemented. I think North Star is kind of being the guinea pig with having the new stuff. I'll have to ask Kevin about that. I like the video from 10 to 20 years ago. I like to see the fashion and how it has changed, right? I still like the bell bottoms and butterfly collar shirts. I think and I hope that stuff will come back. So if you got any of that in your closet, hold on to it. There's too much babbling, whining, and arguing on the radio. Don't disagree. Come on, come back here. Let's take it out here in the office. I think we should develop some kind of paperwork or sheet that we can fill out to get that communication to me faster so we can get some of those problems taken care of. Mounds View has our radio system at their end of things, and they are monitoring us, and it's not very professional. Drivers are speeding in the schools and in the company lots. Yes, they are. Slow down, guys. 5 miles an hour. Dispatch should repeat announcements several times during the day. Yeah, my bus is off and I'll miss something. Don't disagree, especially if they're important announcements. They should definitely do that. I'll talk with them. I think they're doing, yeah, thank you. Dispatch does an excellent job on all in all. They do. They're very busy. Oh, my Lanta, I couldn't imagine doing their job. Please let van drivers know not to park in the employee parking. I'm guessing with the van when they're, oh yeah. If they are backing the van out of the garage, they need to put it back instead of parking it in the drive area or parking spaces. There isn't enough spaces, especially when it snows. Don't disagree, van drivers. I think your area is overlooked. They should have closed captioning on the video. Don't disagree. I actually talked with Josh, so maybe this video is going to have some of that. Hopefully, Josh can figure that out. We definitely thought about that after the last video. Sorry. So hopefully that has that. Yes. Did not cover the 1 through 20 cycle 2 questionnaire. Nope. That was just an add-on. I'm looking at that sheet to see where everybody's at and generating a topical thing for a safety meeting just to get us all on the same page. I think everybody should wear spikes on their shoes, boots for safe reasons. Safety, slip and fall. Yes, if you are prone to slip and falls, definitely get yourself some of those slip-ons that have the grips on them. I use them for ice fishing. When you slip and fall on ice, it's the worst because you cannot control anything. So if you're thinking that you should be wearing those, Mills Fleet Farm has them for pretty cheap, and I think that's a great idea. Thanks for keeping it short and sweet. Well, thank you. Nice job. Well, thank you again. Great safety meeting. Thank you. All right. Matt has been really great on handling the radio etiquette. Yes, he has. It gets frustrating when you hear that stuff. Not only for dispatch, to other drivers, the receiver, the person even saying it's frustrating. We just got to be mindful of coming in and talking with us about it. Bring it back here and let us deal with the other driver on a one-on-one basis, and so we can make that curve change. The lengthy traffic reports and the feedback on the traffic reports. I agree on maybe a write-up system of sort. Yes, I agree. That's a great idea. I'm going to work on that. I like the meeting. Some of the questions I did not understand. The IEP, yes, that cycle 2, I did not hear about that in the safety meeting. Nope, I did not even mention it. It was just there. The video was only 15 minutes long, and I figured it would take you another 10 minutes on doing that questionnaire, and then a few minutes on the feedback portion, so we know you watched it. So all in all, that was why I did it that way. Maybe I should have been a little bit more clear on that. Thank you for that feedback. Very much like the YouTube safety meetings, I'm not comfortable with enclosed crowds. Yeah, me too. Sometimes I'm at Walmart and somebody's coughing all over the place. They look sick. I don't want to get sick. I'm here every day at work. It's a struggle with the technology of the online communications. Yeah, I don't disagree, and that's kind of the pros and cons of YouTube. Some people do real well on it, like this one. I like these meetings better. Yes, I do too in some aspects. I definitely don't disagree with that. I think really, to be honest with you, I like this in one way. I can do it. I'm here on Saturday doing it for the upcoming week. I don't like the fact that there's 20 different meetings over 4 days. I like to get in and out of work. I know that's not part of my job. But I got some plans coming up here on some safety meetings, especially around the April-May ones. I think you guys will really like, and it's going to combine in the in-person meeting along with YouTube. So I look forward to integrating both. So I'm kind of excited about that. I've been thinking about this as well. I would prefer not to meet in person. I like the online safety meetings. I would like more on the Smith systems. Don't disagree. I'm hearing a theme here with Smith systems. I don't know if it's just complacency of uh, us being in the routine of driving or what, but Smith systems very important. I hope this continues to be an alternative because my regular route is busy, typically meeting times. Yeah, I've heard that. However, the meeting times are staggered, so Anissa is uh, more than willing to accommodate some of those. I know we don't want to not be driving and be sitting in this blase meeting, safety meeting thing. Need to return to in person safety meetings ASAP. Again, I don't disagree with you. Pros and cons to both. Ready to get back to in person safety meetings. Thanks for trying. Well, thank you. Here's a long one. Number one, issues with other drivers responding rudely to others over the radio, aka driver issues. Base needs to call them out and speak to them. Definitely, don't disagree. We get frustrated sometimes and we don't think it through. I get it. But we need to be reminded radio communications, there's a theme out there. I'm hearing it right here. I'm sharing it with you on our feedback sheets. Is there a way to turn in drivers who drive behind backing buses? Again, maybe there needs to be a form. Write down like time, date, the circumstances, what's happening. I know it sounds petty. No, I don't think it is. It's a policy and it's for safety reasons. But it happens so often and it seems like nothing's done about it. Well, let's do this as a team. I think we're a team here. I think by what I'm hearing here, a sheet needs to be developed so we can put it up on the front burner and have us definitely be mindful of what our procedures and company policies are. The video was clear and well informed. You did a great job. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm trying to be most accommodating to everybody and trying to get this out and caught back up. Here's one. All the time, you cannot pick up your aids from the office. And the rest of it here, I'm not going to read, but the last line I can. And it says, we need to obey the rules. It makes me late sometimes. Well, thank you for thanking me on that. You know who you are. It is frustrating as blank when some of the drivers don't indicate that they are leaving. I'm guessing that might be on school property. And you get stuck behind them and they don't move or answer the radio. Tell the new drivers to quit letting all the cars out of the side streets or parking lot because each one of those kids lets in every more 2-minute run corner. Okay, I'm not sure 15 or more minutes and everyone behind the newbies is now late. Okay. Might also want to tell to clear off the 8 ways on the back of the in front of the bus in a snowstorm so cars behind and in front know that you are stopping. Too many drivers either don't have control of the kids on their buses or don't care. Their kids are standing and jumping around while The bus is moving down the road. That is an accident waiting to happen. Okay, let's go backwards for a second. So I'm not sure exactly what is happening on the side streets and parking lots. If you are listening to this and this is you, please come and see me so I can get clarification on this so we can hopefully make that situation go away. Um, as far as the 8-way systems, the school bus signs, and our turn signals and indicator lights and stuff, if it's snowing and you're in between tiers, take your broom out and brush that stuff off because you can't see those lights behind the snow. So we definitely need to do that. Um, and it makes it safer. Uh, as far as the standing on the bus and stuff, drivers out there, let's write them up. If you're having an issue with kids on the bus and student management, I know we're trying to hire more paras, and we have most of the time, maybe some extra paras. Get with me. I will talk with Anissa and potentially get a para on your bus. I know that there's a couple of routes that I think that we're putting paras on big buses as well at our own expense to help the driver with some student management. So if you're one of these drivers that are having student management problems, come and see me. Let's get this to be a thing that we can get control of. All right. The test should match the video. Yeah, I don't disagree. Again, I just threw that in there as a time thing to justify the time that we're allotted, those 8 hours for our safety meetings. And it was, to be quite honest, that first video was a test to do something a little bit different than Josh did. Josh had his own YouTube channel. We, as a company, brought up this YouTube channel. So it comes from my end, then goes to Josh. He does the editing. Then it goes to North Star where they make it live. So we just ran that first one as a test. Okay. Meetings are definitely better in person, for sure. I don't disagree. With more food. I think you mean food at the at the safety meetings. Okay, so cookies aren't enough. Could be done with an app on the phone. Not related to the safety meeting, but to be better protected. The buses, tarps, and the fences. Oh, okay, that's a great idea. Clear mask around your youngest students. Clear mask around the younger students for good child development, especially babies and preschool. See Head Start. Huh, interesting. I will look into that, and I will also talk to Kevin on the fence thing with the tarps and stuff. It it was short and sweet. I would love to hear about student management because it seems that people forget how to handle the students. Don't disagree. Uh, Student management is definitely a theme here on some of the feedback forms. If you're having a situation again with student management and you need help, come to me. I don't necessarily have all the answers, and I will never claim to have all the answers. If you come to me and I don't have any kind of feedback with that, I will talk to other people and then get back with you or involve you in that conversation with other people to help us out and that student. So, thank you for that. None of the video, the link was sent to me. It was about students with special needs. Okay, so it's a couple of things here. The video wasn't sent, the link to you. Okay, and if that's the case and you're watching this back on our laptop, or you're watching it now, or have a question about it, or know somebody that isn't getting the link, let them know that they can talk with Jessica. Maybe there's some kind of error on our end, or maybe they're not in the system properly to get the links and the messages on the mass text thing. So, good point. And student management with special needs. If you're having an issue with student management and special needs students, that can be very frustrating because you may be confused on how to handle somebody with special needs as far as what their needs are, not per se just student special needs, but come see me. I do sped route. I have done sped route here most all the time. My route is very difficult, especially one tier. I have multiple kids with very ranges of different needs, and that route definitely needs consistency. That's one thing. Uh, just the knowledge of the students. I have not gotten an IEP for um, this route this year. I know that's an issue. That that really helps. Um, and just talking with other people and about this, and not just anybody back here in the office. Our management staff, me. I'd love to help you with it. Have meetings on subject one: what to do with students that has a weapon. Okay, definitely. You know, we don't confront kids with weapons. We pull over, open the door to give them an escape route. Call into base. Um, that's definitely some of the tools. I will definitely talk about that more in another safety video for sure, or in person. That sounds more like an in person interaction. How to handle bullying? That's a good one. I know Todd did a safety meeting on bullying. I'll have to get with Todd and see if he can help me out with this one. Uh, yeah, bullying is not good. It's not good at all. It can lead to more disastrous things. So that's a good subject. Thank you. Proper use of using a fire extinguisher. Hey, great topic. That was what I was talking about for a safety meeting, doing uh, uh, seat cutting for the belts and fire extinguishers. More in the April May timeframe, and I'm thinking on combining that on both uh, maybe online or uh, in person, but using a video to do it and having the fire department come out and demonstrate fire control and how to use a fire extinguisher. Um, Great, that is awesome. I love that one. Most people know of a fire extinguisher, but have never used one. Uh, while I understand that school buses need to be discussed, always more van. Okay, so van etiquette would be appreciated. Great job, Mike. Thank you. So van drivers, I have definitely heard from a few of you and some of the frustrations that are happening there. Is generally, typically, we have right now a lot of our trainees as they're training to be a big bus driver. They're covering the van routes, and they're new, and so I'm hearing a lot of rumbles from that part of our business, which is a very much a key part of our business on some of topics. So we definitely need to step up our game in that area. So thank you for that. And that brings me to our last keyword, which is thank you. We sure do appreciate everybody and what they're doing for us. We really want to stress the fact that we are a team here. Without you, we can't do it. Without us, you can't do it. So thank you again for being here and what you do, and know that you're greatly appreciated. Well, that's going to conclude our December safety meeting. January is going to be part 2, and I look forward to seeing all of you in our January safety meeting. And this one will also be on YouTube. And then we are looking at March for our next safety meeting. So be well, be safe, and again, thank you.